Oh, sorry about that. Looks like my mic was unplugged there. So, how's it going, everybody? I'm the BTCReaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading when the price is going up or down. So, over on Dixie for the daily, we are seeing a bit of a push up. I would watch for this to continue, as it does look like crypto could start to pull back, and we are making a bounce off a support level. Remember, this is a previous consolidation range from a breakup we had before. So if we are able to maintain this, we may see higher highs for Dixie. There is still probability of pulling back though. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is overall weakening. That VWAP is still bearish, so watch for that to hold. If that VWAP stays in the bearish territory, we could see other things start to pull back as well, as momentum is selling off and money flow is starting to weaken. If we look at the 1 hour, that VWAP is starting to favor bearish with lower lows and lower highs. If this continues, we may fill those probabilities to around that 105 area. And remember, if we fill those lower probabilities, rejecting this consolidation range, then we could see that 100 area as well. So over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we do have the possibility to continue forward. We did pretty much fill that possibility to the 61%. So if you've been here for the last couple days, you would have seen that was possible. Stochastic was pushing up. RSI did want to push forward. VWAP is in bullish territory. Money flow is green, but I would watch that VWAP. If it weakens on lower time frames, we could end up rejecting here. This is a heavy resistance area, both for dominance and for Bitcoin. So over on total for the daily, we do have a little bit of a round away, so this may be bearish confirmation. Watch for us to break this support level. If we break that support level, it's likely we would push down to the 744. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to weaken. Momentum is rounding. VWAP is favoring bearish with lower highs and lower lows, causing momentum and money flow to fall. And if that continues, we will see altcoins continue to pull back here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a high 33.33% chance of hitting that support of that 744. And we also have a chance of hitting our current support of 801. If we cannot hold and bounce off that 801, getting higher highs and higher lows, then we could break down, as currently we have lower highs and lower lows. So we do have a possible bearish trend forming here on our altcoins. Stochastic does want to round. RSI is pulling back. VWAP is bullish. Momentum is starting to push up, but it does look like it wants to round away. So watch that VWAP close. If it pulls back, momentum could reject and money flow would start to break toward the bearish territory. Sorry if you hear some loud vibrating right now. My 3D printer is doing some calibration before I do a test print. So over on futures for the daily, we are continuing forward. This is positive, but momentum is weakening and VWAP isn't strengthening. So I would exercise caution. Money flow is pushing up. RSI and Stochastic are remaining overbought, but that doesn't really make me feel any better about where we are right now. Over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs and higher lows. This may be a bit of a rising channel. Remember, a rising channel where they connect does end up breaking you down. So we could have that. Yeah, we do have a rising channel with 3 touches to the top, a rejection off that 3rd touch, and a possible pullback with a lower high. Watch for lower lows. If we get lower lows from here, we could pull back to around that 90K level. RSI is starting to pull back. Momentum is rounding. VWAP is favoring bearish, so I would watch. We have a very weak high, and we're starting to round away. Momentum does want to break down, signaled by the red dot, showing that VWAP does want to break that neutral. So if VWAP does break, and we see consistent or lower lows with weak highs, momentum will break down, money flow will break down, and higher time frames will start to weaken, which would result in that retracement or pullback here. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, does look like our chat's being a little goofy, so if you leave a question and I don't answer, just drop it again. Chat's being a little goofy right now. Over on the daily, momentum is pulling back, Stochastic is dropping away. RSI is strengthening, VWAP does want to push up, and money flow is in the green, but if that VWAP does not get into bullish trend soon, we could see a rejection and a pullback here. Over on the 1 hour, we have the same rising channel going on, so again, exercise caution, watch around that 90K level. Momentum does want to pull back. RSI and Stochastic are dropping. VWAP is favoring bearish with lower highs and consistent lows, so watch if we continue to drop away here. If we do, momentum will lead money flow lower and higher time frames will start to weaken. So over on graph for the daily, We do have some indecision here as well. This could be a rounding top forming, so I would exercise caution and watch for a pullback. There is a high chance we pull back beyond that value area high, and if we see continued red candles at that point, there's a high chance we could push to the value area low as well. Stochastic does want to pull back. Momentum is rounding with the red dot. VWAP is bullish, but we have a very weak high compared to the previous wave. If that VWAP gives up the strength, momentum will break down, money flow will sell off, and we will see a retracement here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a 76% chance of breaking support, so I would exercise caution. We do have a higher low, so watch for a higher high. If we can get a higher high with this higher low, then we could push up, but if we do not get a higher high, it's likely we would pull back. VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is dropping, money flow is weakening, stochastic does want to pull back, and RSI is weakening. So if you're into a graph, you may want to do a buy, so we can do a buy. Let's say we want to buy right around this 20115. So let's say we want to buy 200, and we will, does not look like it gives me the option to change my price, so let's just buy it where we are and see if we can move it down. It will not let me move it down, so we'll, the trade window may be a little more useful here. Nope. The trade window, there we go. So limit, so in the trade window, you can do your limit, and you can also connect two accounts to another brokerages. So let's say that, what do we say, 2115, let's go a little higher, about 21032, 21032. And since we already bought 200 units, to get the best average, you'd want to buy either a similar amount or at least half of what you bought. Since it's paper money and it's not going to hurt to have more graph, in my opinion, we'll just hit this here, click that buy, close this out. So now we can see if we get that retracement, we would pick up a little bit more in hopes that we would continue higher. If we do end up breaking that zone, then we could set other incremental buys, let's say like this support level right around this 18894, and then I would do somewhere around that value area low. I wouldn't get too crazy with it, don't buy too frequently, otherwise your averages won't really help you. Stochastic does want to pull back, VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is dropping, so I would watch. If that VWAP continues to drop away, we could see that pull back here. So over on Anchor for the daily, we do have a pullback here, so I would exercise caution, watch for a further drop. We could push to that 2562, it says. Stochastic does want to drop away, RSI is weakening, momentum is rounding with the red dot, and that VWAP is struggling to get strong highs, and we are pulling back for a consistent low. If that VWAP favors bearishly on lower time frames here, it's likely we would continue to pull back, possibly making a head and shoulders and breaking away. So you could do another buy here as well. So if you open your trade window, you can do your limit order. And let's say you wanted to buy somewhere around that support level. So we'll do 2680, we'll say. So 02680. Let's say you want to buy 100 units. And then we can just put the buy. You could do your profit and stop loss right away there as well. Again, you can connect to your brokerages. I'm not sure why that did not put a line on our graph like it did. Oh, it's just above that support, so real hard to see. But we will look at the lower time frames here. So over on the 1 hour, there is some gaps, I believe, on these lower time frames that we did not fill. We do have a gap right around this 3035. We do have some previous consolidation ranges that we broke away from. Didn't really run. We ran up very quick. Didn't get too much retracement on, but we do have a gap below around that 2590 area. So I'd say if we broke that support, that 2590 could be another support level beyond that. So over on the 1 hour, we are seeing a probability of a pullback from this indecision candle here. There was a pullback to that like 3172, and now we are pushing forward. There is a possibility we could push up and continue for a higher high. But if we do not see a higher high in this zone, it's likely we would see that daily probability fill where we get that breakaway, and then that's where we would fill that that buy option that we had, and then we could see a further drop if we're not careful. VWAP does want to round, momentum is starting to round, that stochastic is starting to pull back, and RSI is pretty flat, so watch that VWAP is starting to stagnate. If it does not get higher highs with higher lows from this point, we could break away and see lower highs and lower lows on price. So over on XRP for the daily, we do have some indecision. We will delete this flag since we did not delete that yesterday. but we did cover yesterday why that confirmation was important, especially on that move, and that does show why I don't really trade those, because in my opinion, they are a little sketchy sometimes. So we do have that probability still to push to the golden pocket. We're around that 81. There's also a probability to pull back to that 40 if you have not been tuned in. So I would exercise caution, watch lower time frames, obviously. Obviously, that indicator can change as well, but it's been pretty consistent and pretty accurate so far. Momentum does want to round away. RSI is starting to pull back. Stochastic is rounding. Our VWAP does want to break down. If that VWAP continues lower, momentum and money flow could start to fall, and we could break away. We do have consolidation here after a push up, so the hope would be for this to create a bull flag to continue to push us higher. Watch those lower time frames though. Over on the 1 hour, we do have some possible descending channels. Kind of hard to tell, so we'll draw a parallel channel tool. So you could have 2 touches to the top, 3 to the bottom. Technically, we should have broken up after that. We tried to, got rejected. So I'm going to delete that pattern because in my opinion, it's not in play. We could still see a push up. Our probability does say we do have a 50% chance to push to that 24, but there's also a 50% chance of getting hung up on a lower high here and rounding away. So watch this very close. If we do make that lower high and push away, getting a lower low, that's where we could break down toward that 98 buy level that we have. Stochastic does want to round. RSI is pulling back. Don't know why we only have 50. Let's do like 500. 50 isn't very much. There we go. So VWAP is pushing up, momentum does want to gain strength, Stochastic is trying to push up, and RSI does want to gain strength. Watch that VWAP. If it does pull back, we could end up pulling away, but if it continues bullish with higher highs and higher lows from this point, momentum could push up, money flow could remain green, and that would strengthen those higher time frames. So over on Algo, last but not least, unless you drop a request in chat, we do have a bit of an indecision trying to push down here. So I would exercise caution. I'm not sure with this down arrow. Oh, that's our sell. So if we got up there, we had a sell. If we get down here, we have a buy. So over here, our stochastic is rounding away. RSI is pushing down. VWAP does want to break down, and money flow is starting to pull back. Watch that VWAP. If it favors bearish on lower time frames, we could end up pulling away and hitting around that 1906 level. If we jump over to the 1 hour here, you can see we do have that buy order, or nope, that's our, kind of hard to see the buy, so we'll go on our trade here. Want to see the trading window, hit that. Don't know why it says we have a buy and sell. When, oh, those are buy and sell on our indicator, so it's trying to say to buy here, to sell here, as we will push down. We did end up pushing up, so again, not every indicator is perfect, and you don't want to take everything 100%. You want to watch everything together. VWAP is trying to hold bullish, momentum wants to head up, money flow is trying to push forward, so if that VWAP can get higher highs and higher lows, we could push forward and make this probability of getting a higher high. But there is a higher chance that we make a lower high here and then push down. Again, if we get lower highs and lower lows, breaking that value area low, then we could end up breaking away. So if we do want to make this buy order, oh, it does look like we do have a buy order right around here, so we can hit buy. There we go. So if we do pull back, we could buy, or if you're betting on that pull back, you could drop a little bit lower if you feel comfortable, maybe in that previous consolidation range. So remember, consolidation ranges are likely where price would hang up, as it has hung up there in the past. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the